Welcome back, Mac makers. In this video, I will show you how to translate, reflect, or rotate a shape in Fusion 360. I start by saving my file. This is Rigid Transformations tutorial. Click Save. And I want to start by creating a sketch. So I go up to the Sketch toolbar, Create Sketch, and select the XY plane. I want to make my reference rectangle for the size of my design, so I'll select a center rectangle, click and release on the origin, then drag my cursor and enter in my dimensions with numbers. I can press Tab to go between these two boxes and press Enter. This is reference geometry, so I'm going to select it by clicking and dragging. So I click and hold and then drag to select with a window and change these to construction lines. I'm just going to do these reflection transformations, the reflection, rotation, and translation with a rectangle. So I start by drawing a simple two-point rectangle. And I'll start by doing a translation. So if I want to translate, I can click on my shape, right-click it, and move copy, move object. So it actually didn't understand that I selected the rectangle. I want to start with create copy, so I got to start with selection. So I select the geometry to move. I'm going to select all of these lines because I want the entire rectangle to move. And if I need to translate it, I can move it in any direction just using these arrows. Once I'm satisfied, I can press OK, and I have translated my rectangle. Now you notice that one did not keep the original, so I want to go ahead and do another move. So I will select all four lines. This time I'll select before I start to move them, so I click, then Shift, hold Shift, and click on the other lines. Then when I right-click and move copy, select Create Copy before I start doing my translation. You can translate as many times as you need to get the designs that you want. Now, to rotate, I'm going to use the same tool but in a different way. So again, I select my first line. I'm going to hold Shift and select the other lines. Then right-click and press Move Copy. Instead of free move or translate, I want to rotate. And to rotate, I need to select an axis of rotation. So I go over here and turn on my origin. And if I look at this from 3 dimensions, you can see that there is the z-axis facing out of my plane. That's what I actually want to rotate around. Rotating around this axis is the same as rotating around the center of my origin. So I will select this axis as the axis of rotation. Look back from the front view so I can see what's going to happen with my design. And click Create Copy to make sure the original stays in place. Now I can rotate my shape however I need to. And press OK. Finally, to reflect, I'm going to use a slightly different tool. I want to reflect this rectangle around the x-axis. So I'll select my 4 lines, again holding Shift to select multiple objects. Let's say I accidentally select something I don't want to. I can just press it again to deselect. Once I have all 4 lines, I'm going to go back up to the Sketch menu and select Mirror. Mirror is just like a reflection. So I have the objects I want to reflect selected. Now I can select my mirror line, which I want to be the x-axis. And that will reflect my shape around the x-axis. Again, you can always preview what it looks like by reflecting across a few of these different lines. You can also draw in your own lines and reflect around them to see what happens. I want to reflect over the horizontal axis, so I select OK. And that is how you do translations, reflections, and rotations in Fusion 360. Make sure you save, and you can stop Sketch.